Okay, we're ready to go. Hi, good afternoon. Dharmindher Singh is my name. I'm a migration agent here with Aussizz Group. And I'm going to talk to you today about the 485 visa. I know we give all these numbers. What does 485 mean? We've done this numerous times, but I'll say it again. It's the temporary graduate visa for those of you who have seemingly studied a particular course and would go into what sort of courses do qualify for a graduate visa. And as we go along, you are going to have some questions that I'm sure you have, if not already. I have my colleague in front of me, which you can't see, and she will be filling some questions. And then as we go along, feel free. It's a very relaxed atmosphere where you can ask any questions pertaining not just to the 485, but eventually, if you're studying something, how does it relate to a potential PR should you want to do one after the 485? Now, two streams essentially. The temporary graduate visa has the post-study work stream as well as the graduate work stream. The general rule of thumb is if you're studying something that's a diploma level, and that's going to let you perhaps look into a 485, which is the 18-month visa. Now, not all studies actually apply for that. And case in point, I get queries from someone who's studying enrolled nursing. And she goes, oh, how can I apply? And so on and so forth. Someone perhaps must have told her that she actually did qualify for that. And lo and behold, when she realized that she does not qualify for the 485, it came as a bit of a shock for her. So things like that can happen because you think enrolled nursing, how can that be any different from, say, someone who's studying nursing per se? So if you are in that situation, don't be alarmed. We can always find another solution for you to see what you can study to meet the requirements. In the event that you studied something that it's at a degree level, not necessarily all of them end up in a post-study work stream, but most of them generally do, so that's a 2-year visa. A lot of documents, a lot of questions. People ask, what documents do I need to apply? Well, the first and foremost, I think, is if you've studied something that if you've studied at the diploma level, you might be required to do what they call is a professional skills assessment. Case in point, I'm just going to use commercial cookery as an example. And you will be required to do a TRA stage 1, apply for that first, and therefore be eligible to then meet the skills assessment and the requisite English, whatever that may be for you. In this instance, it's a 6 overall, 5 in each, then you are on the money, meaning you can apply. Similarly, if you are applying for a, let's see, most of them, I think if you look at people who get stuck with their application, because we give 485 advice quite readily and free, not an issue, but you've got to be mindful that if you are stuck with regards to, hey, am I studying something that is related to a PR eventually? Again, like I said to you from the very beginning, that's something that you can talk at another time. But essentially, just for the 485, remember, skills assessment, your English requirements, your letter of completion, your Australian Federal Police clearance. Don't worry so much about your medicals, whether you've done it or not, because that's usually valid for 1 year. In the event that you apply, they will usually ask you that, hey, go ahead and do your skills your medicals, and then we'll just advise you as you go along. I'm just thinking offhand, what are some of the other questions that people have asked as they go along? If you do get it, and if it's a 2-year, as you know, it's a temporary visa, you might be required to go and get I want to talk about people who have done, say, IT. Now, IT students do realize that you have that 485 time period to go and get a skills assessment done either through a professional year or you go and get 1 year of experience. That's how you change that into a PR scenario, which I think some of you have asked me, in fact, up until today, hey, how do I get a PR run whilst I'm on a 485 in IT specifically? You finish your PY, if you get your skills assessment done after that, you have seemingly about 9-10 months or thereabouts, or 11 if you're lucky, to then try to see which options actually apply for you. If that doesn't apply to you, then your other occupations come into play. 485, there is talk about perhaps, maybe increasing that to a longer period of time. That's all on the cards. We'll just watch the bouncing ball and see where this is going to end up based on what's going to be announced in these coming months. In the event that's the case, again, you only cross the bridge when you come to it, which is carry on studying what you're studying. And if you come unstuck at any point in time, firstly contact us. And I'm just thinking offhand, Anna, since you're right in front of me, do you have any questions happening so far yet? We can talk about 485 over and over again, but they are quite academic, quite straightforward questions. I'm happy to take questions as we go along.
Dharmindher, we have one question from Nishan Chowdhury.
Yep.
Students who studies diploma plus advanced diploma in business management plus bachelor in business, then at which stage they are eligible to apply for 485 visa?
So if you're studying business management, if it's not tied into a particular course per se, then he's just studying two unrelated. You can do a business advanced. Let's say if he does a diploma in business, and then he does an advanced diploma. But what is it related? Yeah, what is it related to? It has to be related to a particular trade. It's got to be related to a particular skill eventually. Because if it is not, then you have just invested money into the Australian economy and not being in a position to apply for a 485. So just be careful of that. There's no point just studying an advanced diploma if you cannot relate that to a particular skill or a occupation.
Okay.
Does that answer his question? Yeah.
So the second question is from Chamidu S. Bandara.
Mm-hmm.
I am 23, finishing my nursing degree this November in a regional uni.
Okay.
What are my chances in applying visa, and when do I need to start my visa process?
Okay. First and foremost, good that you're studying in a regional area because that's not stopping you from applying for the 485. You're studying nursing. When you finish that, we'll get, if it's you or me or whoever, we can get your 485 in progress. Eventually, you need to get your skills assessment done and your registration. Upon that, then, because you studied regional, you can start giving yourself points for regional studies. You probably get an extra 5 points for regional studies. And at last count, the 11th of April, when we last looked at the 189 invitation points for 189 was 80 points. So if you get 80 points, again, you are in a position after finishing your studies whilst on the 485 and getting the requisite points, be in a position to apply for 189 for that purpose. So your chances are high, depending on what you score on your eventual points.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coming back to the previous question about the diploma and advanced diploma,
Yeah.
He said it's in marketing.
So you did that in just marketing? How did he do a bachelor's in marketing?
Bachelor in business.
Bachelor's in business, so he did a bachelor's in marketing then. So if his degree is in marketing, then that's fine. Then he still can apply. That's not stopping him from applying. But it's something that he's got to be prepared to work for 1 year and thereafter be in a position to apply for a skills assessment, probably with well assessed, I dare say, as a marketing specialist, to then be in a position to apply for PR. Thanks,
Okay.
if there's one. So
Yes.
we've taken questions straight away, which is good. So that means all these people generally know about 485 because they just want to have their questions answered. I'm more than happy.
Similar question from Prashal Acharya.
Yeah.
What chances applying PR after diploma in nursing? How many points do we need to apply? You just answered that.
I think I did answer that. So at the moment, if you are applying as a
But it's diploma in nursing.
Okay.
It's not bachelor.
Or if it's diploma in nursing, obviously that's not the case down here. So you contact me offline. I'll tell you how to go about it because there's a little bit of hoops and hurdles that you got to go around. Yeah.
Okay. Another question from Huzaifa Akhtar.
Yeah.
Hi sir, I gave PTE exam 2 years before in 2017. Now my PTE expired last month.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to apply 485 in July.
Okay.
Can I use my old PTE or should I need to provide the new one?
Yeah, it's valid for 3 years. So you be mindful of that. And if you're still in doubt, contact me. You can use it.
Okay. Moving on to next
Yep.
question from Adnan Khan.
Hey Adnan.
Is it okay if I get credits for 2 subjects in master degree? No problem for TR, yeah?
If he wants to use 2 credits, I don't quite understand the question. So
2 subjects
two
for
subjects.
the credit
Yeah.
for a master's degree.
I'm still very vague on this question. So
I'm thinking he must be asking
Yeah.
about the years of the study.
So the years of studies is you have to meet either a 16-month study completely or 2 years. So if you're saying that you're going to get advanced credits or recognition for something, just make sure that it doesn't eat into your actual 16 month. And how they count that is not from when you got the visa to when it ends. It's exactly from when you have your contact hours in your uni. They don't count the semester break, they don't count your holidays or anything like that. So if you have 16 months or thereabouts exactly, you qualify for the 485. And they are pretty particular about that. So sit down, break it down to when you actually started. You may get a visa in January, but your uni only started in February 16 or 23, and then you finish that up in June. Then you have a holidays in July and August, that doesn't count. So you went back to uni again, second semester, starts from August or whatever the date is to November, and then you break again. So you go to count from that. So people who have done fast-track fast-track studies, saving money but not realizing that they're not actually meeting the 16-month study requirement, they can get stuck because you will be refused the 485 because you do not meet the Australian study requirement. Next question.
Okay. Next question is from Lucy.
Yep. Hey Lucy.
Can I be able to change my student visa to graduate visa if my student visa expires on 2020?
You're on a student visa, Lucy, and if you're studying something that can lead to a 485, then that's well and good. Then the change is your issue as to whether it's a preference of your career change or something else. But if you're saying specifically changing it after 2020, changing your visa depends on you getting admission into another course of study and what have you. So if you meet the requisites, that's not really an issue. But if your question is whether upon changing, can you apply for a 485?
I think she's asking her student visa is expiring on 2020.
Okay.
Can she apply for graduate visa? So as long as she is eligible.
As long as you're eligible, it doesn't matter as to when your visa actually expires.
Okay. Yeah, she can come and meet Dharmindher
Anytime.
for free consultation.
No issues, seriously. Yeah. No questions is a silly question.
So the next question is from Murali Ramesh.
Hey Murali.
While studying masters in IT,
Mm-hmm.
if we take credit for any subject which we have already done in bachelor's,
Okay.
do we still have to do another subject to cover that, or will we get the assessment done through ACS? It's a 2-part question. I'll just leave you with the first part.
So the first part would not have any significance on the 485. The 485 just wants to see that you've met the study requirement for that particular degree or course of study. Now, if you get advanced standing recognition for something that you've done either in another university or at another level, then that's all well and good. But if you're talking about eventually then using that to apply for PR, then it depends on that particular assessing body. Why I said that, because is he talking about IT, Anna? He's
Yes.
talking about IT. Because I had a client, funny enough, only yesterday, where the client's a holder of a 485 visa and applied with ACS for skills assessment. And ACS has come back and said, no, we can't even assess it. Why? Because you do not meet the Australian study requirement, which is quite funny in the sense that, why? Because you don't get a 485 if you do not meet the Australian study requirement. So this person is a holder of a 485, deemed by the department that you can hold a 485. ACS, on the other hand, says, oh, but we only feel that this is only 15 months based on whatever the units that this person may have completed in that stipulated period of time. So be very mindful that ACS has got a mind of their own at the same time. So just to be on the safe side, when presented with that situation as a migration agent, we also look at the fact that, hey, this client has a 485 already, should clearly meet the requirements for, for a skills assessment, should that be the case. So if you're stuck in that situation, just ask us, because if you need to perhaps, before applying, maybe go and do something else, then you will be in a position of actually, maybe doing another unit or whatever the case is, just to meet the requirements from ACS. Just be mindful of that.
Okay.
Now,
the second part of his question, he's saying if we get a job in IT, and if we do professional year, do we get points for PY and job experience, or only one will be considered? Only one. So ACS deems, they might give you a skills assessment, but they might deem your points for work experience. So just be mindful of that. And whilst we are trying to secure our PR in so many ways, be aware that ACS are funny sort of, not funny in a bad way, because they have different requirements, put it this way. So if you are ever stuck with wanting to claim points for work experience overseas, say for example, so you studied something down here and you want to claim points for 2 years of work experience overseas, which you need to if you have an ICT major, and you claim that, they give you the skills assessment, but they can take away the time and the experience that you've acquired to get that, if you know what I'm saying. You come unstuck with this answer, email me separately, I really can explain that, no issues. Next question. Next question is from Irfan Haider.
Irfan, I think I know this guy.
He's saying, any advice for accounting students?
Besides, I'm presuming his question is pertaining to a 189 PR. Look, none of us, well, I don't have a crystal ball to begin with, but if I had one, it was definitely shattered in the last round, where they have now brought it up to 90 points for accountants to apply. And did we see this coming? Not quite. We thought 85 in March was the last, and then 90 in 11th of April, and they've only invited 100 people throughout Australia at the same time. If you're asking for chances, is it going to go up to 95? I doubt it. Or if it did, don't quote me, because we are not here to sort of hedge any bets on what is going to go up to. But if you think you are in a position to get 90, just imagine when you actually do for accounting students. You're going to be playing catch up 3, 4, 5 months behind the game for those who probably already have before they even call you on 90. So it's not a fun situation to be in if you're an accountant or if you're finishing your MPA or anything of that nature, because it's testing times for accountants. You're hoping it comes back to 85, if at all. Next question.
Next question is from Aisha Ahmad.
Hey Aisha.
I'm presently residing in Geelong.
Geelong, okay. Great.
I am in my 485 visa temporary residency. Am I eligible to extend the 485 visa?
You can't extend a 485. It has never been extended beyond what it is, not that I know of, in all these years. So you're given that only once, by the way. For those who really are planning to do a 485 for the first time, just be mindful if you're studying something and if you're recognizing that your chances of either securing an assessment or a job or whatever that you want to do whilst you're on the 485 are minimal, and you could actually go and study something else, go and study something else before applying for the 485, just in case, because it's your get out of jail free card and you can only use that once. Unless you like going to jail very often, so I don't know. Because I'm a Monopoly player, alright? So this is what we do. You can only apply that once, and you cannot extend that. Just remember that.
Next one is not a question, it's a compliment.
Compliment?
Dharmindher Singh said, what a great session, very informative.
Wow, okay. Thank you, Dharmindher. Sandhu is another, from one Sandhu to another Sandhu,
and Lucy said, thanks so much for answering the question.
Okay. Because look, as you're reading the questions and as this is live, it is, look, I can sit down here, I can read up on something, I can tell you, hey, 485, you need to do this and that, the other. You guys are savvy, you guys are smart people, to the point where if you get unstuck at any point in time, really. I mean, not just because I'm live and I'm facing the camera, I've got the light shining on me or anything. I'm on the spot too. If you're asking me a specific question that if I'm unable to answer, I'll put my hand up and say, hey, hang on, let me check, let me find out. And I'm sure you would appreciate that because you want to have the correct answer too. So feel free to continue sending the questions because we've only just started. So ask away. Anything that I do not know today at this point in time, I will take it offline. You can email us, and Anna and I will endeavor, I particularly, to answer those questions particularly. Yeah.
Next question.
Next question.
Next question is from Tanya Evangeline. Sorry.
Tanya, yeah. Evangeline. She sounds like she's from the Avengers. No, just kidding, Tanya. Just kidding.
I have done first masters in Australia, which ran full 2 years.
Okay.
I then directly transferred to another student visa to do my second masters.
So she would have realized that she didn't have options in the first masters from a PR 189. So hence why some people switch. And by the way, you can only switch from masters to masters right now, unfortunately. So Tanya switched from one masters to another. Was she on a 485 then? No, she just switched, obviously.
She said this second masters is on a fast track of 18 months, including breaks.
Okay.
So will I be eligible for TR from my new masters? If not, can I use my first masters for the TR, or can I combine both to show the 16 months or 2-year requirement?
Brilliant question, because you can only use your first masters if you wanted to use if it's even related to your second one. Okay, number one. Number two, if you finish your studies, you have 6 months from getting your letter of completion to lodge a 485. But if you've done that first masters and you've met the studies, and if you wanted to apply on that basis, and you don't have this situation in your second one, which is fast track 18 months, and you're not sure whether I have or you for that matter have this 16-month scenario, then I'll be a bit worried. So I think that's what you need to be mindful of, because if it's not related to your second one, Tanya, then you really have to be so particular, because fast track, as much as it saves you time and money, it's going to come and bite you in this instance when you don't meet the 16-month requirement. I think I've done 2 or 3, particularly you can even check my Google review. The one person actually was so happy when I did her 485. When I told her, you are unable to perhaps meet it, and we counted it to the very final day. She was about 6 or 7 days short of 16 months. So I put the onus back to the client. I said, what do you want to do? She had no choice. She says, I have to put it to try to see whether I get a 485. And knowing behold, she had a very good case officer perhaps, who said, let it fly. She got a 485. She's ever thankful. I got a box of chocolates out of it. That was good.
Okay, moving on. The next question, you answered Huzaifa's question earlier about the PTE.
Yeah.
He has got more questions about IELTS requirement for accounting degree assessment for claiming points.
So for assessment, he needs to do a IELTS academic, and he needs 7 each to meet the prerequisites in the first place. So if you want to claim points, of course, if you get 8 each, you're going to get 20 points. So you get 7 each, you're going to get 10 points. So hence why those people who are now subjected to do 90 points, can you imagine what's transpiring in their little brain in terms of how do they maximize this? They're going to try to get PTE scores, they're going to get PY, they're going to try to get partner, they try to get regional studies, maxing out every possible variable trying to get the 90 points. Good luck. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Fun.
He also asked if we are in Sydney or we are in Perth.
We are live in Perth. Okay, where
you have office in Sydney.
we have offices in Sydney at the same time. Should you need to speak to anyone down there?
Next question is Elvira Jabrailova.
Okay.
Sorry,
That's cool. That's good enough. I hope they can also hear you, which is also good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How much point is required for ICT?
How many points, in other words, for ICT? ICT, if you are obviously one of those pro rata occupations, you are subjected to 80, depending on what you're studying. I think last I checked, everybody is on 80. if you're concerned about whether you're 75 or 80, the last I checked, all on 80 points right now. Yeah.
Next question from Gagan Handa.
Hi Gagan.
How old experience we can use to apply TR?
How? Oh, as in experience-wise, how?
For TR.
For TR, there's no requirements for any experience. TR is, like I said in the very outset, depending on what you studied. If you studied diploma, then you applied for the corresponding one, which is an 18-month visa. If you studied a degree, by and large, the rule of thumb is you applied for the post-study work stream, which is a 2 years visa. They don't really, is what you study, not the experience.
Next question is from Murali Ramesh.
Hey Murali.
I think he asked a question before as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it was about the IT and ACS, and he asked about the PY points.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got another question for
That's cool.
us.
That's cool.
He's saying
Any question is a good question for somebody else who's perhaps trying to get online, yeah?
So Murali is saying, I have already got my ACS assessment done and they have deducted 2 years.
So they did, right? So
mentioned,
as I mentioned, correct?
and I'll be completing my master's in November.
Okay.
Do I have to get the ACS assessment done again after completing master's, or just a certificate is enough from uni to claim points for Australian study requirements?
If you have your skills assessment done already, so correct me because you're reading that. So if he's done his skills assessment, so what is he? Is he still studying, correct? He's still studying, yeah?
Let me go back to his question. He hasn't clarified it, that
Okay.
if he's still studying or
Yeah,
not.
so that's the reason why. Because if you're still studying, you are claiming, you want to try to claim a skills assessment, which he has, okay? So he has claimed skills assessment based on, he's doing his master's now, presuming, and he's used his bachelor's from wherever he is from, and he's got some experience, and ACS has given him a skills assessment, but they've taken away, as what I said, the 2 years that he needed to demonstrate at the same time. So he has a positive skills assessment. If he wants to still apply at the same time in any one of those categories.
Oh, he is, sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt.
Yep.
He will be completing his master's in November.
Okay, so he's not on a 485. Correct?
No, student visa.
So student visa, which is brilliant, which is a lot of people who do that. They say, hey, hang on, I'm doing my master's. I've got my bachelor's from overseas, and I was also working already. So he's a little bit mature from what I gather. And then he would have thought, I've gone to ACS has given me a skills assessment, but they've taken away my 2 years. But they've given me a positive skills assessment. Bingo. But I'm going to finish my studies. When he finishes his studies, it's up to him. If his skills assessment that he has already gotten is what he wants it in, then that's fine. Because there's so many disciplines of ICT, correct? And if what he's studying is in, say, maybe programming or ICT business analysis, systems analysis, or computer network, whatever he's doing, then it's your decision of whether you want to get another skills assessment based on that. Because if you want to, then it's based on you finishing your master's, and ACS, as I said to you from the very beginning, they need to see work experience for 1 year, or you do your PY. That's where you get unstuck. Nothing stopping you from applying for 485 though, which is what this is all about. Next.
Yes. Hopefully, Murali, your question has been answered.
Murali, if
not,
it's still in a gray area, happy to take your question offline.
Yeah. Next one is from Chuck. Can I get 485 visa after completion of my course, advanced diploma in business 2 years? So he has done advanced diploma in business 2 years.
2 years.
And if I nominate management consultant in MLT SSL, or which occupation can I nominate for successful 485 visa?
Okay, Chuck, you have a very interesting but confusing question. Firstly, you don't have to nominate something as a management consultant because you're never going to get assessed as a management consultant for something that you just did at the diploma level. So your question is, whatever that you're studying, the diploma and advanced diploma in business, does that even qualify for a management consultant? I don't think so. but I'm happy to be corrected, but I definitely don't think so. So you also need to know whether is that related to anything that you can peg on that can be applied onto the 485. So you need to be mindful of that. So I believe you're a little bit confused, but that's normal. Feel free, and I want to specifically take your query offline.
Next question from Susan.
Hey Susan.
I have overseas accounting experience, 4
Overseas
years
accounting
full-time.
experience, 4 years full time, okay.
While I was doing my bachelor, am I eligible to claim 5 points?
Yeah, you can claim. See, the category in which you are asking is when you eventually want to try to get points, you have the opportunity to claim 5 points for 3 years of overseas experience. And evidently you just said that you have 4 years of experience in the last 10 years. You go ahead whilst you've come down here to finish your studies, and you are about to finish. I presume she's doing her bachelor's now, correct? She's doing her bachelor's again. She can't.
While she was doing her bachelor's, she completed her accounting experience. I'm not sure if she's doing bachelor's now or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she's claiming point for overseas though. So overseas experience is, as the category suggests, if you work for 3 years overseas in that nominated occupation, you get 5 points.
Yeah, but we're not sure what.
So exactly. So until you clarify exactly in what capacity, then we can be a little bit more certain.
Okay. This is the question from the lady who was asking about the first masters and second masters.
Okay, cool.
She said,
Tanya, is it?
Yeah,
Is her name
Tanya.
correct? Yeah.
Tanya.
Tanya, yeah.
My first masters was Masters of Commerce. My 18-month fast-track master, which I'm currently doing now, is Masters of Teaching. So it is actually not related. But since I'm doing fast-track, I have very few holidays. I have many semesters consecutively on summer, winter, etc. So basically, I have very small breaks. In that case, 18 months will be eligible, isn't it?
I mean, again, as how you've pointed out, Tanya, yeah, you got very little breaks. You didn't go back like some of the students when, November, December came along. You probably studied right through, and you really met this in the 18 months. You probably studied for exactly 15 and a half, or 15 and a half, not really, 16 and whatever the months that we want to see before you can apply. Sit down, email me, put it down from when you studied to when you finish, and what was the break, if at all. Like you say, if you didn't have one, no problems. Let's just see, let's itemize that. Only then you physically can see right in front of you through this little exercise, how much time do I actually have? Do I actually have the 16 months? And if you have it, you'll be one very happy person, for sure.
This question is from Adnan.
Hey Adnan.
He asked the question before as well. He is repeating the same question.
Okay.
About the degree assessment option for Master of Management for Engineers. We answered this question?
Masters
no?
of
Okay.
Management in Engineers. I didn't think we had the question.
Okay. So he's Adnan Khan. He's asking, what are the degree assessment option for Masters of Management for Engineers?
Masters of Management in Engineer. This is like Masters of the Galaxies of the world. One of them Avengers. Hey, firstly, thanks for the query. Masters of Management in Engineering. So if it's more of an engineering discipline, Engineers Australia, I presume, will take that to see what is it. Were you a manager per se? What discipline of engineering did you actually study? And for them to do any assessment, they might ask you to do a CDR of sorts, a report, or of any nature for them to be in a position to give you an assessment to begin with. So if that's what you studied, and if that's what your question is, there are assessing bodies down here who will assess based on what you precisely study. If he's saying it's a master's, Anna, is it from 2 years? Is that what he said he's done?
No other information.
No other information?
Just Master of Management for Engineers. He's asking the degree assessment option.
Masters of Management sounds like you could be doing an MBA in an engineering field at the same time, if I'm not correct. And then this applies to you. Just again, feel free, filter another question about the same thing, but in another manner. We can take this offline easily, no issues. Because remember, we're going to try to keep this thing flowing. We're going to have questions coming through, and your question is still a good question.
Next question, Naval Pullard.
Okay.
I got my 485 in a month, but my friends...
He got his 485 in a month. He's very lucky.
But my friends who applied before me are still waiting.
How long?
What could be the reason? Naval hasn't said how long. He just finished the question at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, rule of thumb. If yours was a decision-ready application, nothing outstanding. In other words, you had already also, for some reason, may have applied for a student visa extension that needed you to do a medicals for the matter, meaning you've done the medicals in that 1 year before you applied for the 485, because medicals is valid for 1 year. You've met and ticked all the boxes for your 485. You're very lucky to have had it for 1 month. I have a client who, applied the visa themselves, by the way, and it's been 7 months. Master student, chemical engineering, but just needed some information to this and that, the other, and he is quite worried. But at the same time, when I checked, I don't think so he's in danger of not getting it. So he's got a pleasant problem. He's got 7 months free to still hang around, to add to when the visa is actually granted, which is going to be another 2 years. So he's hoping that nothing gets refused or anything like that. So that's not going to happen. As to why your friends didn't get approved, could be a whole host of things. They could say it's, under processing. They could be checking for various things or other. General rule of thumb, like I said from the very beginning, 2 to 3 months on the very safe side, you should get your 485. If not, then something is wrong.
Murali, who was asking about the ACS and ICS.
Murali is back again.
He said, thanks a lot for answering my question. Can you please give me your details? I'll contact you offline. So if you can want to give him your email address.
Murali, I'm, as you know, in Aussizz. So for those who really want to get, and let's see how attentive you guys can be, Dharmindher is my name. So DHARMINDHER.Singh, SINGH, at Aussizz, you know how Aussizz is spelled, AUSSIZZ.com.au.
For those who missed it, I'll put it in the description as well.
That's exactly. This was a bit of a trick to see, how you were in your listening part of your English.
Move on to next question.
Okay, cool.
Vishal Karka.
Hey Vishal.
He's saying, I'm finishing my studies in professional accounting in June. I'm planning to move to Tasmania or Darwin. Which one would you recommend? Or is this the 489 visa available in Perth too?
I don't know. I've been in Perth now for 31 years, so which is better for me? It's really, I don't know, it's a case of what do you like?
He's asking if Tasmania or Darwin.
Yeah, I'm just going to come to that. So if you want to go to those two places, which is why I was giving you an example of Perth. Now it's like comparing. This is what I was going to say. Tasmania cold, Darwin hot. Options wise, they're both growing economies. They're both, for some reason or other, are dependent on different industries. And if you think, do this first before you go. Do a seek. Type the occupation that you want to, and localize the area in which you want to go. Because eventually you want to know where is it that seemingly not just your chances of getting a PR is, but eventually a job at the same time. Do that little exercise before you decide where you want to go. But they're both good. Perth is still the best, by the way. So.
Okay. So.
We still got a lot of questions. Rock it on. Bring it on.
Yeah, we'll go fast.
Yep.
Prabisha Shrestha, I have total 80 points from accounting. So what are the chances to get invitation from New South Wales? If not, then what are the other alternatives to get PR in my case? There are a lot of PR questions, but I would just like to point out that this is a 485 informative seminar.
It is a 485 forum, but I mean, you can probably appreciate that. And you know what? I can, from your question itself, is like an SOS going on. 80 points, accountants applied in New South Wales. New South Wales, which you probably have applied, would be a 190, not even a 189, right? The chances of getting a 190 invitation from New South Wales is as good as Donald Trump winning the next election. I don't know. You go figure that out. It is very difficult to get an invitation from New South Wales. They say that there's no prerequisite. You can be down here, you can apply, and you can sit and hope and pray that you get an invitation. And you think on 80 points, is it going to make your case any better? Not necessarily. Why haven't you applied for 190 WA if you're a WA graduate? You need to be in a position to get a job when they invite you. If not, then it's a waiting game, unfortunately. Rock on. Anna, what are the questions?
Next question from Sandeep.
Hey, Sandeep.
Hi guys, I'm currently studying associate degree in electrical engineering.
Okay.
Is this course eligible for 485 visa?
Does that make him a electrical draftsperson, if I'm not wrong? So that's one of them quirky ones that if he does 2 years, can actually qualify for a 485. I think I had a student from Brazil who was asking me that question only 2 weeks ago, so I believe so. Can you please email me specifically, and then I can look into that once again.
Next one, again, Tanya.
Tanya, you're back again. You really like this forum, don't you?
When you are counting the study times, is it from the dates that the university specify as their semester start and end date?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So it's from when the university, when you have contact period from there.
Okay.
It doesn't count anything else. It doesn't count the holidays and the time and all that. It's really when you're there and you finish your exams and marking and all that. Gray area though. Be careful.
Yeah, so she's saying 25th of Feb to 25th of May will be 3 months, isn't it? So, yeah. So they won't be...
Tanya,
yeah.
someone who's doing a second master's, you are pretty concerned, you're pretty worried, email me, please. And I will give you the email address afterwards. I want to look into that because you've come back on the forum for the 4th time for a question. You're on top of my list so far. Not just because you've asked me 4 questions. But it's pretty important to establish your 16-month requirements.
Chakra is asking the same question again about the advanced diploma in business 2 year and if he can nominate management consultant in MLTSSL, which you have already answered, right?
It's I'm quite,
so if you're still not certain about the answers, then please contact Dharmindher.
Please, seriously. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, I am facing the music, as so to speak. But you have a question that if it did not get answered through, because you don't see what I'm seeing right now. Anna is furiously scrolling through this iPad to see and read as many questions as we possibly can. Some of them overlap. Some of them might just need a little bit more, hey, let's just find out a little bit more, just to speed things on. And if that doesn't get answered, you will have my email. Email me, no issues.
Okay, a few more questions left now.
Okay.
From Manji Kalhar.
Hey Manji.
I done commercial cookery certificate 4 after finished that. I started bachelor degree, but I didn't complete. Now I complete hospitality management recently. Can I apply for 485? So
if I hear your question right, Manjit, if you've done commercial cookery, you would have done Cert 3, Cert 4, a diploma. You've met the requirements. You applied for a 485.
She did commercial cookery Cert 4.
Yeah.
And so after finishing that, she did a bachelor degree.
She did a bachelor's degree after that?
Yeah, but she didn't complete it.
So...
Okay, the question is very confusing
here. Yeah. So you really, again, if you went on to do your bachelor's in hospitality because you may have been told or to go and get a COE and you got that and you thought, hey, hang on, what do? I didn't like the degree, the diploma bit. I didn't complete the diploma, and then I went on to do a degree in hospitality. You didn't complete that. So technically, you've not met the requirements of both specific courses of studies, and then you want to see whether can they relate to a 485. What do you think? I don't think so though.
She said she has completed hospitality management recently.
But what is it that she completed? Did she just complete a Cert 4 is what she said,
Yeah.
right?
Manjeet, if you can just be clear, if you have completed Bachelor in Hospitality Management, please put that on comment section.
Okay, so Manjeet, again, email me, no issues. Yeah, I just want to be very clear at the same time, because I'm sure you just don't want to take what I'm saying at this level based on some uncertainties in just a question. When you email me, it'll be more clear. I don't understand. I'm going to email you and ask you, please clarify, and then we can move it from there. Next question, Anna.
From Lizette.
Okay.
I'm industrial engineer, already finished my diploma in enterprise resource planning, and I will finish diploma in project management in June 2019. Can I apply for 485 visa with these two courses?
Okay. He's doing a diploma in engineering.
He has already finished his diploma in enterprise resource planning.
Okay, so that could be something that, okay, it's a diploma level, yeah.
He is an industrial engineer already.
Okay.
Completed his
He's
diploma.
an industrial engineer from his own country. That's it.
Not
here.
specified.
Not specified.
He completed diploma in enterprise resource planning and will complete his diploma in project management in June.
Okay.
So he's asking if with these two courses he can apply for 485 visa.
From listening to what he's just saying, I don't think so. You have to get something, because some people do that. Why? Because they are already an industrial engineer, like you just said, and you thought, hey, I'm just going to do 1 year of this because this sounds good to me. And then after that, I'm going to do another one. But if it is not related to, like I said in the very beginning, not all stuff that you study is actually related to the list of skills and occupations, if you want to call it, for the 485. So be mindful of that. You may not have met the requisite, but just because you wanted to do it because it was good or it sounded fun or related, you literally have to go through that. So I'm not quite sure specifically how those two might fit into. Again, happy if you just email me and say, I did this specifically because or for whatever various reasons, and then we can explore this a little bit further. Tough going through these questions on live, but yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of 485 questions.
Okay,
today.
go. Let's hit the 485s. Let's bring them in.
Okay. Zahid Ansari.
Hey,
I
Zahid.
have applied the 485 visa and immigration asked for additional document, which is AFP police check. I applied same day when the ME requested, but I have not get it yet. And
So hang on. Okay,
days
go on. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And 28 days is going to finish on 9th of April. 9th of April is
9th of April is already gone. He meant 9th of May.
May probably.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Zahid Ansari, if you're hearing this right now, very quickly type and tell me where you're from, country of origin, number one. Number two, I am surprised that you launched a 485 without an AFP of any sort. You know, you didn't even put a receipt or anything that you had in your hand. So, and if they've requested this information, they've given you a timeline. So, if you've done that already and uploaded it because you did it yourself, be mindful that you've done it in the required requested period of time. Otherwise, they can actually refuse the application. So, I'm a bit cautious on that. Did he say where he's from?
No.
He's probably not listening. It's okay. Cool.
Can't reach.
Let's jump on to the next one.
Okay, next few questions are about 489 visa, PR, 190 in South Australia.
Now we can jump into another one. We can just pick up the 485 one first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've got one more 485 question.
Yeah.
It's from Bishal Karka.
Hey Vishal.
I think he asked the question before as well. He said, as I'm completing Masters in Professional Accounting this June,
Yeah.
can I apply for 489 visa from WA if I don't have job in accounting field? And can I apply for 485 visa immediately after finishing my studies so that I can start PY?
Wow. You can only do PY whilst you're on the 485, number one. You can apply your 485 when you've met your requirements. You can apply for 489 when you have a skills assessment and you have the requisite points. In WA, we're talking about, are you compelled to have a job before you apply? No. If you get an invitation on the 489 when you're in WA, then you have 28 days to have a job offer in that regional area. So if that applies to you, then good luck, because your clock will start ticking when you get the invitation. When you get the invitation, that is. So you are in a pleasant place. You have the luxury of being on the 485. You have the time finishing your PY at the same time. Like I said, if you have the points requisite, which is only 55 for the 489 as we speak, then you apply, then there's no issues. But finish your PY whilst on the 485. Next question. I don't envy your task of trying to read some of the questions, but thank you, Anna, for actually helping me read these questions.
The next question is Agam Sikri.
Yep.
Can you please recommend me what move I should next? He's saying, can you please recommend me what his next move should be, as he has completed Cert 3, 4 and diploma job ready and just got 8 each in PTE. So
job ready, I presume he's done commercial cookery, right?
Yeah.
So this is a classic case, isn't it? Someone who studied Cert 3, 4.
He says in cookery.
In cookery, yeah. So he did Cert 3, 4 diploma, did the job ready program, given all this money to TRA, and he's on his 485. He's probably got 3, 4, 5 months if you're lucky, and like, oh, what do I do? Where do I go? He's got PTE 8, did he say?
Yeah.
Congrats first. So then you think, how can I apply? You as a chef on 189, if you have 80 points, you apply. Sit back, pray to whoever that you pray to, in the hope that you get an invitation, is what I meant. And if not, then you start thinking, right, points base, you have the skills assessment in hand already, you're looking at the 190 and the 489 as we speak. Some people, what they do is that they go into what people are doing right now. They go into Tasmania, or Tasmania's 489 requirement is, I just need to work there for 6 months in any occupation, I meet the requirements, or I apply. But are you in a position to do that, because your 485 is ending very soon? So you either, options-wise, go into getting a student visa over there, which is going to be of a higher grade, remember, from what you last held. And if you are in a position for that, good luck, and you're kicking and buying time. Or if you accumulate 2 years of work experience, which is very difficult for you to prove, and if you get that, then you look for an employer on a 482 to sponsor you on a work visa. Good luck with that one.
Okay. Tom Harris sent a question about 190 as chef in South Australia. He's saying, please answer my question also. So I'm just going to read his question. I have done 2-year diploma course of cookery. I have done my JRP as cook, but received full skills assessment of both cook and chef.
Yeah.
Am I eligible to apply for 190 as chef in South Australia?
If you are, he did all that in South Australia, correct?
So he has not mentioned that.
Yeah, if he's in South Australia, then he would have met the eligibility requirements from the South Australian perspective at the same time. And Tom, if you have met that and you have time left on your visa, you should apply for the 190 in South Australia. Yeah. In doubt, call me. I know we've read your question, but don't feel that it's not been answered. But please address that back again to me.
Okay. Zahid Kamal.
Yeah.
He's saying, I have completed a Bachelor of Biomedicine and currently doing MBBS. Is there a way I could apply for PR using my Bachelor of Biomedicine?
Wow. So he wants to apply PR. he's studying that down. He's studying his MBBS down here. Is that what he's doing?
Currently doing MBBS.
And
He completed Bachelor of Biomedicine. And he's asking if he can use the Bachelor of Biomedicine to apply for PR.
now, got to check. Are you on the 189 list? Because that's what PR is directly for you. And if it is, I suspect you will be subjected to 1 or 2 years of post qualification experience, and if you meet that and you meet the skills assessment requirements whilst you're studying, I don't see a reason why you cannot apply for that, provided you have the requisite invitation points right now for the 189, which is 80 points, whilst you're finishing your MBBS, if that's what you want to do, hedging your bets, both sides.
We'll take one last question for the day, and if anyone else has any question, they can just email you, yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't even know, what's the time right now?
We
Have I been sitting down here for 1 hour already?
55 minutes.
Okay, let's
Okay.
just
Do you
rock
want to
on.
go for 60 minutes?
Let's go for 60 minutes.
Okay.
For 5 more minutes. Bring it on.
Kelzang Rin Chen says, I'm already in 485 visa now. I studied Masters in International Development in Canberra, and I know this study is not listed in SOL list. However, I have experience back at home for public relation
Mm-hmm.
professional for 5.2 years, and this list is open. I did my degree from BBA from India. Am I
Okay.
eligible to get PR?
Okay. I've got a similar question from a client of mine now in Nepal. Can I take that offline? Because it's a little bit involved.
Okay,
I'll just-
Kelzan can just email you
Yeah.
the question. Then.
Email me the question, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Kelzan, please email Dharmindher the question.
Yeah.
The email address is in the description box.
Okay.
Okay. Dawn says, what are the chances of for WA Master of Professional Accounting to get chain migration in SA? Have real brother citizen living in SA, kindly help.
Chain migration. What sort of chain migration is he talking about? I'm not aware. But if you're talking about you studied accounting and you want to try to get more points from a brother, presuming you're talking about the 489, family sponsored, then you're going to get extra 10 points from there, but you're still going to be invited at 80 points. Now, as you know how the 189 and the 489 works, anyone they've called on the 189, spillover effects, meaning whoever they really need to call rest on the family-sponsored ones. From last I checked, 6-7 months, there's only been 10 all the time. So if you happen to be the lucky person to be in the queue already for that, then you get invited on a 489 family-sponsored, if that's what your question is.
Okay, few more.
Am I almost there? Am I there? Are we there?
I've got two more, but
Two more
it keeps
questions.
coming up.
Keeps coming up. No issues.
Miko is saying, I can only get maximum of 75 points at the end of my 485 visa. I'm a chef in New South Wales. Is 75 points enough to apply? 189 in New South Wales. Again, it's 485 is turning into
189 is not New South Wales. 189 is anywhere. So don't think that 189 can I apply in New South Wales. You can apply 189 if you get 65 points. Are you going to get an invitation? No. Last one is 80. So so just be mindful of that. Don't get mixed up with that. Do I have any more questions?
That's it.
Okay, so is that it? So I
Yeah.
think we've answered the best as we can. Those who I said I'll take it offline, you will get the contact from Anna after
Yeah,
this.
I've left it in the comment box as well. Your
Okay,
email address.
and feel free, give me some time to come back to you, because all of you probably going to just have a flurry of email questions apart from the ones that I existingly have. I hope that it's actually, like I said, you can start off talking about a 485, but in general, most of the prerequisites, requirements and what have you, AFP, PTE and all this kind of stuff, we can answer them quite readily. But particularly the ones like Tanya and Aslan and all of these people have, hey, fast track, how do I go, how do I count? That is quite specific. Sit down, meet, talk, find out specifically, and then we make a decision on that. Other than that, thank you for even sharing this last 59.5 minutes with me. And I hope it's been useful to you as much as it's been useful to me. Thank you, and I'll see you guys soon for the next Facebook Live. Have a good one.